Hello, welcome to Appleosophy Weekly, where we bring you the latest Apple news and rumors of the week. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So, before we get the show started, I'd like to introduce Brahm, who's part of the Appleosophy writers team and podcast team. Brahm, thank you for joining the show today.
Hi, how's it going?
Yeah, how are you doing, Brahm?
Pretty good, man. It's funny, I wanted to use my iPad this morning, but it only has one USB-C port. So, first world
Oh,
problems. I need to charge it at the same time. So,
yeah. Okay, so the first
need
thing
to
we'll be
find a way to
talking
hook up the mic.
Right. Okay, so the first thing we'll be talking about in today's show is the iPhone XS Smart Battery Case. So Apple this week released the iPhone XS Smart Battery Case. Okay, and I believe they're selling it for $130. It's also available in white and black, and it's also available for the iPhone XR. If you don't know, Appleosophy leaked information about this a few weeks ago. If you do not know, so, yeah, that was pretty cool. So,
We were,
Braun, what do you think of the iPhone XS Smart Battery Case?
well, just one quick thing to mention. Appleosophy was the first website to get a hold of this. We were the first ones to leak this case. 9 to 5 Mac
Right.
leaked a glyph of it earlier that month,
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
were actually the first ones to leak
So,
a picture
yeah.
of the case,
So I just want to talk about real
which
quick.
devices would be supported,
Mm-hmm. So I just like to talk
all
about
that stuff.
so I just want to talk about how the process works. So what we did is when we posted the article, um, 9 to 5 Mac actually didn't believe us. We did a few email exchanges, and so this is basically how we found the proof of the iPhone XS Smart Battery Case. So Apple has something called Apple Sales Web, and what this portal is, it's basically a website for, I just say Apple. It's for Apple retailers basically and Apple premium resellers, and they can get like
Hmm.
access to like documents, internal documents. Honestly, anyone can
Yeah.
access this, and so we basically, a member on our team found a document. All right, it was the fall merchandising guide for Apple premium resellers, and basically he found it. He found the iPhone XS in the document, and we're all like, "Wait a second, that's not normal,"
Yeah.
because it looked like an error. And so we did a report on it, basically. And then after that, 9 to 5, we actually told 9 to 5 Mac about it because we have contacts with them. And
Yes.
they actually didn't believe it for a second. Um, so I sent him the direct link from Apple server to that document, and he's like, "Oh dang, this is legit." He actually called us fake
Hmm.
for he actually called the report fake news.
Shout out to Benjamin Mayo. Anyone who gets the news before you is fake news.
God.
I know where I've heard that before. Donald Trump.
Yes. Um. So and basically they reported it. So eventually my 9 to 5 Mac reported it, and then it went on all the Apple news sources that we all love.
Yeah.
It even made it to CNET in Spanish. It's called CNET in
I know.
Espanol.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah, it was really interesting. Um, so Brom, I just want to ask you: do you own the smart battery case?
No. This is an interesting story too. I had it in my shopping cart,
Mm-hmm.
was about to push buy, and then I said, no wait, I need to take a step back and think about this
Yeah, yeah. You
because it
should
is a
probably think
lot of
about
money.
it. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it's
I believe it's
$130.
yeah, $130. Yeah.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I have an iPhone XS Max,
Mm-hmm.
and once I took a step back and asked myself, do I really want to purchase this? I thought I've never been in a position with my iPhone XS Max
Right.
where it's about to run out of battery and I really need to use it. The battery
Mm-hmm.
life on it is phenomenal. I understand that it's a lot better on the 10R, but just to throw that out there, the battery life on my XS Max is awesome. And while I'm not on it constantly, I do use it throughout the day, um, quite a bit. So
Yeah. All right. So I actually don't. So I have an iPhone 6s, and I actually don't own the smart battery case or anything like that. I just have a regular. I don't even know what case I have. Let me take a look right now. It's called Levette. It's like a $10 case I got from Amazon, and it's been
those are
doing
the
the
best
job.
cases, man.
It's been doing the job. The Amazon cases, they really do the job. Well, like at a good price.
Yeah, yeah.
So talking
That's where
right.
that's the place to go for Apple Watch bands too, honestly.
I know. I get all my Apple Watch bands from eBay actually for like $3. So I don't want to pay $50 for the
Oh,
legit one.
yeah.
S Okay, so going back, I just want to talk about the specific. Sorry, I want to go back to the iPhone XS battery case. So again, it's available in black and white. It's available in black and white. It supports the iPhone XS, iPhone XS Max, and iPhone XR for all the same price, all $130. It features also supports Lightning pass-through port, and it supports USB PD, which is basically faster charging. And then the talk
Oh,
time's up to
oh, so
37
it does support
hours,
fast charging.
and the internet use is up to 20 hours, and video playback is up to 25 hours. In my opinion, I really don't know if these specs are the best, but I think they're good. What do you think, bro?
Okay, well, if you look at the spec sheet for this kind of stuff, we're seeing battery life for a lot of these things that'll last you longer than a day.
Right.
And let's be honest, do you really have your iPhone on for 24 hours straight?
Well, I'm sure a lot of us do actually.
You actually have the
But
phone
oh yeah,
on
without
and running
a
20.
charge. Nah, but I'm sure someone is. I can guarantee that right now.
That's what I'm saying. So who is this case for? Are you going to
So,
go more than 20? The only time you're going to go more than 24 hours without a charger? I mean,
mm-hmm.
what? Are you camping? Or are you just too lazy to charge your phone? I don't know.
So I'll say that I feel like this case is for the people that just want that extra battery. Like maybe I just say they have like a nut. Let's just say they're like, for example, maybe they don't have it. Maybe they can't go home right away and charge their phone, but they can use the battery backup. I just think it's for situations like people just need that extra battery life. Um,
Well, I was speaking with a friend the other day, and he mentioned that a battery case is very important for him. He just purchased a 10R, and he
right.
lives in an area where the power tends to go out,
Oh, okay.
and it doesn't. It's a very old system. It could take days to come back on. So for him, this was a very important purchase. Um,
Right.
but to me, that seems like he's in the minority as far as that issue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do like that it supports Qi charging. To me, the battery life is phenomenal, just from my perspective. And I do use my phone a
Well,
lot,
the thing
probably
is,
not as much as some other
yeah,
people.
right. But the thing is, I don't own it, so I can't really say that off of my mind. That's good. The specs look good to me.
Yeah,
Like it looks like a
the
good
specs. Yeah, the
case.
specs look good on paper.
Right.
We'll have to see people on YouTube dissect this a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. And I heard the
To
reviews
me,
been. I also heard the reviews been decent. I haven't seen too many reviews yet, but from my viewpoint, the reviews look decent. Uh, like, I don't know. Have you heard any good reviews about it?
the only reviews I've seen so far have mainly been just unboxings and positive first impressions.
Yeah,
So
that's
does
all
that
I've
say
seen so
much?
far
I'm
too.
not sure. Yeah,
I
we need to
think
take a deep dive and see actually how much
right.
battery life people are getting from this case, and is it worth the money? Because it is a lot of money. I mean, what's the price increase here from last model from the iPhone
Um,
7 model? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
It's pretty steep.
I feel like it was $99. It might have
75,
been
$80.
more. It might have been 80 or 99,
Yeah,
something like that. I could be
yeah,
wrong
I'm
though.
pretty sure.
Um, but yeah, looking at
It's one of
the
those prices that you forget. But
yeah.
to stay on topic here, this
Mhm.
is a conversation too that I had with a lot of people regarding the new battery case. Is you pay anywhere from 750 to $1,100 for a brand spanking new iPhone, right? It's
Right.
thin, it's light, it's portable, and it already has awesome battery life. You're paying a premium for this form factor that packs in these amazing features, and
Mhm.
then you're sticking an ugly, hump of a charging case on it just because the majority of people just want the security of more battery
Right.
and they're sacrificing the form factor. I think a lot of people are buying this for security because they're saying, I'm not actually going to listen to music for 40 hours on my phone, but I want the security. If it does run out of battery, I have extra battery. I don't think
Right.
anybody's going to be
So you're saying
running
it's like
through their phone battery and the
mhm.
case battery every time they use it.
So you're saying it's like one of those like people are buying it for the case, and some people are buying it for the battery, but if the people are buying it for the case, they got that battery anyway. So is that basically what you're saying?
Well, and I don't think it's a question of protection either. If you look back at their previous cases, their previous battery cases, they're made out of the same material as their sort of silicone thin cases that they already sell
Right.
in a variety of colors at the Apple Store, and those have very poor reviews. If you look anywhere, those have extremely poor reviews. They peel.
Aren't
Um,
they like one? I think I saw them for like 1 or 2 stars on Apple.com.
yeah, they have very poor reviews, and it's made out of the same material. So we'll have to see how that works over time. I mean, you have a lithium ion battery wrapped in a material that's not very durable. I don't
Right.
think anybody's buying this for protection because if that were the case, you'd go buy a case on Amazon, or
I
even
feel
if you
like
want to pay the premium, buy one at the Apple Store.
right. I feel like if you get the
Nobody's
i
buying this for protection.
mm-hmm. So I feel like if you buy the iPhone 10s case, if you like drop it, I feel like it's gonna damage the case a lot. It just depends how high. I just feel like it's gonna damage like that because like the battery, it's like bulky in the case.
Hmm
Like
It's
like
it's a
I feel like
really
that can easily break. Yeah.
it's a really soft and delicate material that they're using. So like I said, from a durability perspective, it's not a premium product in my
Right.
opinion.
It's just a
Others
case
may
that
disagree.
offers battery for consumers.
I think, and going back to that, Holden, I think it's a question of
Hmm.
security. People are saying, in the event that I do run out of my phone battery, I want a backup battery, and I want it to be in this convenient form factor where it's already in a case, I'm backed up, I never, ever, ever, ever have to worry about running out of battery.
Right.
And and some people are willing to sacrifice things like form factor to have that kind of security. You see these people every year that say, "Come on, Apple, just make the phone thicker and give us better battery." And it seems like Apple's going towards that trend anyway,
Yeah.
but we'll
Yeah,
see.
definitely. And they've also been doing. I forgot what they're called. They called L-shaped batteries. They started doing that with the iPhone 10. Like,
There's actually there are two cells.
right. So it like makes an L. So that's why they're called L batteries. Correct.
hmm
Okay, that's
So
what I thought.
so um, your main battery is a lot larger than the vertical facing
Right.
battery is a lot larger than the horizontal facing one.
Hmm.
Together they form an L, and then tucked into this L is your motherboard, things like that.
Right.
That's what they're using to add bigger batteries to the newest iPhones, and they're also making them slightly thicker than things like the iPhone 6s, 4s, and so on. It's because that's
Right.
what customers are asking for these days. I think, and a lot of people like to go here, and it's very cliche, but I'll do it. Steve Jobs was obsessed with the thinnest design possible,
Right. So
and
what's
he
also a
he
challenge
believed that the
is
yeah.
what's also a challenge is you gotta make the product strong, but at the same time make it like good. Like like with going back to the iPhone 6, like I believe it was called Bendgate or something. Like
Bengate, yeah.
the 6 Plus just like bends. Um, the issue was that I from what I believe is the issue was the aluminum is too like thin and not strong enough. It was a challenge
Well,
for
they
them
didn't.
because they were
They
trying to make it thin as
in later
possible.
versions of that phone, I guess you could say, because the iPhone 6, 6s shared the same design as the 6, they actually reinforced
Right.
the the
Yeah.
corners
I own the
of the metal
6S and I saw that.
with
Yeah.
stainless steel, I believe it was, which now the phone is made entirely of stainless steel.
Yeah, I saw
So
that.
iPhones are definitely getting more durable. Every year you hear the strongest glass ever in a smartphone. These are all great things, but the point is, and what I was getting to, is I had this conversation the other day with somebody. Steve Jobs was very obsessed with this vision of making the thinnest and lightest product possible.
Right.
And for his vision, that was a huge priority. What we're hearing from consumers is, "Hey Apple, make the phone a little bit thicker. I could use some more battery life, and I want it to be more durable." And so I think Apple's kind of finally moving in that direction
It's a challenge.
post
Yeah.
Jobs. I know we're talking years and years ago, but You see Apple slowly moving in that direction
Mm-hmm.
as that becomes a priority for consumers. They want better durability, they want more battery, and they don't mind if it's a little bit thicker. There's another consumer voice or consumer opinion that I've heard is people like a product that's a little bit heavier because it feels premium in their hand. It feels like
Mm-hmm.
jewelry, especially something like the iPhone 10 and later, with the exception of the 10s. They're built from stainless steel and glass, and it
Right.
truly feels like you're holding jewelry
A
when you
premium
hold one
product.
of
Yeah.
these things. Yeah, and it feels
I agree.
premium because of the weight in your hand. So, those are just some things to take note of and how consumers perceive value.
Mm-hmm.
That's a discussion that's worth touching on.
No, no, I agree. So just to conclude the talk of the iPhone 10s case, overall, I'll say so from looking at my point of view, I don't own the case, but if you're interested, if any of you guys listening are interested in the case, um, what would you say first, Brian? Would you say it's worth to like buy? Is $130 worth it?
Is $130 worth it? Personally, not for me.
Dude,
But if you need
there's just so many like third party cases out there too. Just like why not
there
use them?
are,
They're
but you
cheaper.
also have to consider what's proprietary about
True,
Apple.
true,
When
true,
Apple
true.
makes products for Apple products, there's something special about those products. AirPower, for instance, which still isn't out, they have this technology that regulates power and the temperature of the phone so that the lithium ion battery doesn't deplete in quality over time.
Right.
There's these there's that's the word I was looking for is power management. They have these power management features in the new battery cases that prevent your lithium ion battery um, from decreasing in effectiveness over time.
Right.
There's a lot of technology that goes into these things that people don't think about. Your $8
I actually didn't
Amazon
know that.
case
That's cool.
is, you know, it'll do the job, but you're in the dark as far as what you're doing to your device long term.
Mm-hmm.
You may be solving one problem but creating another. So you know that if you go the Apple route, you're getting a premium product, one that won't damage your device or your battery over time. So there's a lot of things to consider.
No, definitely, yeah. Um, but all right, so the iPhone 10s. So in my opinion, I think like it's your choice. In my personally, I recommend getting a third party case because there's so many like good ones out there. But if you're interested in the Apple one, if you want that like extra power management features and like want to spend $130, go with the iPhone 10s Smart Battery case. Okay, so moving topics. Um, so HomePod. Let's talk about HomePod now. So home.
HomePod.
Yeah, let's get started. So HomePod is now available for purchase in China and Hong Kong. So Apple has been slowly, I guess you can say, rolling out HomePod in multiple countries. I
Mm-hmm.
believe they started in the United States. I think it. I even, if I remember correctly, I believe it took them like a month to get in Canada. They've been doing it slowly. I could be wrong though, but I
Yeah,
believe they started.
I have the
Huh?
stats right here, Holden, if you want to take a look.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so it released in the United States, Australia, and the United Kingdom about 11 months ago. That was February 9th of 2018.
Okay.
And 4 months later, it was unveiled in Canada, or not unveiled, released in Canada, France, and Germany. And as of 2 months ago, on October 26, 2018, it was released in Mexico and Spain, and most recently, as of yesterday, I believe, China.
Yeah, correct. Okay. Thanks for saying that, bro. So the HomePod is priced at 2,800 yen in China, and
Mm-hmm.
same in Hong Kong. Um, I don't know how much that is in USD. I own the HomePod, and I believe it. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a great device. Okay, the sound quality
Mm-hmm.
is excellent, but is it worth $350? I don't think so. Because there's so many competitors out there. You got Amazon Alexa, Google Home. You got all of those out there,
Sorry, I'm
and
having
yeah,
trouble
you
understanding
got
right
all of
now.
those.
Please try a little later.
Did you hear my Alexa go off?
Yeah, you're
I
talking
said
to Alexa now.
I said the. All right, I feel bad now. I said the word. Okay, but
Well,
is it?
so you
Do
make
you
a
think
good
it's more?
point. The
Go ahead.
market, you make a good point. If you look at the smart speaker market, there's a lot of devices to choose from. Obviously, Alexa was first to the game. They have a lot more home compatible accessories. Google is providing results that Alexa and Siri cannot compete with because they have all this search data that they've aggregated over time,
Right.
this internet archiving stuff that they do. So each each assistant has its own strengths and weaknesses. I believe at this point Siri is miles behind the rest of the game,
I agree.
and
I
that's
have
that's a
been.
huge problem for people right
I'll
now.
say. I have been seeing Siri improve over time, like with questions. A recent survey released out. I forgot what company, but I read something that like Apple's adding like smart stuff to Siri over time, and so I believe they said Siri's I think 60% smarter. Like all I know is it's been improving over time, which is a good thing, but they really need to like put. What I think they need to do first is create a solution that's a little bit cheaper, maybe, but at the same time bring a good Siri experience to the consumer.
And I think this is what we have to talk about, Holden, because if you look at the HomePod, the singular way that you can interact with it is through Siri.
Right.
It's one of those things where you buy into the Apple ecosystem and you're stuck into the Apple ecosystem. You can't simply Bluetooth any device to this thing. It only works through AirPlay. You can't unless you have your phone or your iPad or any other iOS device on hand. Um, you can't play Spotify from it. You can't play Amazon Music from it. It's not friendly with its
Right.
competitor
Well, the
software.
thing is, all right. So I owned the Amazon Alexa Dot third generation. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I got it for I think $25 from Amazon. It was like I got it on Black Friday, and
Okay.
yeah, and I gotta say I really like it for the price. Dude, it even supports Apple. It supports Apple Music now, which I believe like Amazon needed to do that for a long time. Amazon and Apple. It's really nice. I can ask my Echo um to play my Apple Music stuff, which I think is really cool.
I think that was an excellent decision on Amazon's
Like
part as
even
far as
yeah, me too.
making the decision to partner with Apple
Even though they're competitors,
and
I'm
offer
still
that.
glad they did it.
It's really nice too because a lot of people that were subscribing to Apple Music and Amazon, they no longer have to fiddle with between those two accounts. Apple Music is already the largest music library in the world,
Right.
so pretty much any song that you shout at Alexa, she's going to be able to play it. I found a lot of times if I was using Amazon Music and I had a sort of an indie artist that I wanted to listen to, um, Alexa
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't understand or she wouldn't be able to play it. But back to our discussion, because the HomePod is so locked in to the Apple ecosystem, Siri defines your experience with it. And although, as
Definitely.
you mentioned, Siri is getting better, minutely over time as far as questions she's able to answer, I think the discussion begins with Siri, and I'm going to start from the iPhone. So when you interact with Siri on the iPhone, my experience personally has been over time that it's not as useful as it was in iOS 5 and iOS 6, in my opinion. A lot of times I'm directed to the internet, just to Google, to
Right.
answer a question that I'm
Yeah,
asking it. And when
I'm really
in
annoyed
the
by that
past, when
too.
on launch day, on
Uh
launch
huh.
day when Siri launched, you were getting results from Wolfram Alpha. You were getting all these
Right. I remember that.
databases integrated directly into Siri to give you the right answer. And now it'll direct you to the internet instead of those databases. So why don't I just tap on Safari and use dictation every time?
You
It's
make a
not
good
that
point.
helpful as an assistant when it comes to answering questions. When
Right.
it comes to getting certain actions done on the phone, such as playing music, sending a text, sending an email, it's great integration. The voice recognition is awesome, but it's just not where we need it to be yet, and it's not at a point where it's directly competing with other smart assistants. And so if
Yeah,
you think about the HomePod, it's difficult because you're forced to use an assistant that's severely behind the competitors.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
a,
yeah. I really believe Apple should create a cheaper. Number one, either create a cheaper HomePod and have the same software experience, or number two, they like redo Siri, not redo it, but like add so much stuff to Siri and offer like the same design in the HomePod, because I feel like I'll feel like HomePod's worth the money more like if it had more features with Siri. You know what I mean?
yeah, and obviously when that change comes, when Siri finally gets this massive update, this overhaul that everyone's talking about,
Right.
it'll reinvigorate the smart speaker market from Apple's
No,
from
yeah,
Apple's
it really
perspective.
will.
Um, whether that's going to happen or how soon that's going to happen, we don't know. And here's the thing about Apple. Apple, um, as a company, they're very passionate about music. And I think that was deeply rooted in Jobs' values. He was an audiophile. And if you look back at these keynotes, they hold things like music and sound and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff, they hold that to a very high standard. They take it very seriously. And if you look at the smart speaker market, what Apple's doing with sound on the HomePod is phenomenal. It's the best sounding smart speaker on the market,
Definitely.
and that's just not enough for consumers. I think it satisfies Apple's vision, but not the consumer's needs or wants. And as soon as this smart home stuff catches up with that sound quality, then there's not going to be any competitors. The HomePod experience will be incomparable to the next smart speaker out there. It's really Siri that's holding it behind. You have this
Yeah.
superb audio,
Dude,
features like
I
stereo
love the audio.
pairing.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah, it's in a
I
perfect
look at
world.
that. I love the bass. Like, dude, everything about the audio and like how they created it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's it's a huge achievement from an audiophile's perspective. It's great audio. It
Mm-hmm.
fills the room. You can have just one HomePod in your room. You don't even need the full stereo pair, and you could still get pretty good sound.
Yeah, I only own one HomePod. I own
Yeah.
the black one.
So I think that's what we're both getting at here is this Siri, this smart assistant stuff needs to catch up with where the sound quality is at,
I agree with you, dude. I really do.
and then
S-
and then there'll be nothing better than the HomePod out there.
Right.
It's going to be a
So
challenge for Apple though to do that because all this stuff is so well established, like the Alexa and Google. A lot of people that
yeah,
own a
dude.
HomePod
Yeah, dude. The
still
thing
own an.
is, Alexa and Google, they got a head start.
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding right now.
You gotta stop doing that, man.
And my Alexa just went off again. I haven't learned my lesson yet. I keep
it's
saying
that's I think
I keep saying the word. It's sorry. It's a really bad habit. Cause I'm used. I don't call it Echo. I just call it Alexa. That's like all I call it.
yeah, there you go. Whisper it.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, and you're kind of making the point here, is a lot of people that own HomePods also own Googles or Alexas. That just shows you that Siri is not there as far as
Yeah.
its
Definitely.
capabilities and whatnot.
Right. So I like to wrap up the HomePod talk. I want to move into AirPower. Okay. So
You mean Wear
okay.
Power?
AirPower.
I've never heard of it, Holden.
Really? Well,
No, never heard about it.
I'm reading a report about AirPower right now.
What
Well,
is that?
anyway,
I've never heard about that.
it's well okay. Well, it's a device. It's so AirPower is a wireless charging mat. It's a QI based charging mat Apple announced like how many years? Like 5 years ago. Nah, I'm
Yeah.
joking. It was like a year
AirPower, I
ago.
don't remember. What are you talking about? That was
It's
I,
so
I was I was paid by Apple to say that I've never heard of that. So
well go all right. So go watch your September 2017 event when you announced the iPhone 10, and then look at the last 15 minutes, and then it'll tell you what AirPower is. That's like the only
oh,
reference
okay.
now these days.
Okay, was that you said what year was that?
Like 2017.
2017. Oh my God. So 2 years ago.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 2 years ago. You're right.
Just about. All right. Okay.
So, all right. So we got some. Yeah. So we got some more rumors about AirPower. So according to some supply chain like news sources, um, AirPower is now in production. So what does this mean? AirPower will be available in around early 2019. I don't know when. It's been delayed for years now. It's kind of sad,
Yeah.
but
I'll believe it when I see it,
if,
Holden.
all right, if they charge it $300, that's gonna be crazy. I really think it needs to have a $150 price point to like a $225 price point. I really don't think they should overprice this, especially for the long wait. Like come on.
To be honest with you, it's a charger. They should charge anywhere from 99 to $120 for this thing, in my opinion. It it's probably going to come out and it's going to be 199, and everyone and their grandmother out there is going to say, "You know what? Charging with a cord isn't that cumbersome."
Yeah. Um. But so one thing we do not know about AirPower is so you know the cable that connects into AirPower. Do you think it uses Lightning or USB-C?
The in If you look at some of their marketing content for it, which could all be fake right now, it could look totally different than it did 2 years ago
Right.
in their marketing photos for it. But if you look back at that stuff, it's powered with Lightning.
Okay. So it's powered with Lightning. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
That'd be
which
cool. That'd be cool if they use it. That'd be cool if they use USB-C.
you know what would be very Apple about them for them to do,
What?
to only send you the mat. You have to use your
Oh, and then you have to buy like the $49.
you have to buy the cord or
You have to
use the one
buy
that came with your iPhone.
no, you have to buy the Smart Cube. You have to buy the 12-watt USB-C cube, which is
Yeah.
like $49 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they overprice these things. It's at the point I don't even know anymore, which is kind of funny. Like, it could be $49, $29. Like, you think I should know this, right? But like, I keep checking. I swear it's keep getting higher.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And in
the
like,
world we live in.
and it probably costs Apple like how much? Probably like $1 to manufacture, sadly, or less. Probably less
I
than
don't
that.
I don't know
So
the exact margins, so I can't comment on that.
I bet they're making so
But
much money from this.
yeah, they're they're famous for overpricing their products. So, like I said, I don't know the margins on it, but to put it into perspective, um, an iPhone 4 costs like $60 to manufacture. I heard that one time. So,
Oh wow.
yeah, so you can imagine what their margins are for this stuff.
Yeah, it's probably crazy. Crazy. They're probably making a lot from it. So there's a debate going on. When will AirPower launch? So Apple announced AirPower in September
Never.
2017. Um, alongside with the iPhone 8, 8 Plus, and iPhone 10. It says the time will launch in 2018, but 2018 is gone now. It's now 2019. Um,
Is it?
and
Is it, Holden?
wait, let me double check the date on my computer. Hold on. Yep.
Yeah,
So
yeah, there you go.
today's Saturday, January 19th, 2019. So yeah, I was just making sure I wasn't dreaming or anything like that. Okay, so
No,
um,
sorry. I'm asking because I'm still stuck in 2018 waiting for our power.
I thought you didn't know what AirPower was. Oh, I guess you know now. um, okay, so what I'm really disappointed in Apple is they gave no official info on when AirPower will release. I'm really disappointed by that. I really feel like they should say something. But from a business perspective, I guess I understand why they announce like they didn't say anything about it from business point of view because they probably honestly they probably don't know either, and they want to keep it confidential. But
We'll see what happens.
um, but so going back to the rumors about AirPower, a recent rumor from Apple's supply chain in China has suggested that manufacturing issues have been solved, and according to some supply chain news sources, AirPower is said to be entering mass production on January 21st. Okay, so today is January 19th, so mass production will start on January 21st, with Apple planning to release it sometime soon. All right, so so I said soon, right? Does soon mean February, March, April? We don't know yet. Okay, we're just like you guys. Apple doesn't tell the press much about it. They're completely quiet about it. If I emailed Apple PR right now, they'll be like, they won't even reply to my email, like their usual
Okay,
stuff.
here's the
Cause I've been hearing
here's the
they've
thing.
been quiet from the press about AirPower.
Here's the thing. Let's put this into perspective, Poland. So, do you honestly think that I mean, okay, the fanboys will do it, but do you honestly think that the majority of people will be willing to shell out anywhere from $150 to $200 for a mat that charges their iPhone, their Apple
Yeah,
Watch, and their AirPods at the same time? Now let's
I
slow down
wouldn't
real
pay.
quick.
All right. I just want to say I wouldn't pay that much. I'll pay like 100. All right, but of
Okay,
course it's Apple.
exactly.
Of course it's Apple. The company we all love. It's gonna be like 200, 300, maybe 1,000. No, I'm joking. It'll
So
be
here's the thing, though.
199.99.
Here's the thing. So you
Yes.
have to have a product, the newest product from either 2017 or from 2017 onward, for both the phone, the watch, and the AirPods charging case. The Qi wireless charging case is not even out yet, so that's going to be some extra money that you have to shell out as well to have this experience. Who knows what that's going to cost? Probably
Oh,
50 to 60 bucks.
yeah.
Okay, I mean, that's being generous here. Um, so if you think about this, if you charge your iPhone or your watch the normal way already, which a lot of people have a stand for their watch and they either charge their iPhone using a wireless charging pad
Uh
or a
huh.
cord, is this experience really worth the money that you have to
Uh,
invest in order to
so for
have this
me,
experience? Because
I believe that it's not worth the money. That's just me. Like, do I need air power? No. Does anyone? Just that's just me. I don't need air power. Number one, I don't even have a device
obviously it's
that
a
supports it.
convenience factor, right?
I'm still stuck in like 2015 with the iPhone 6s and my Apple Watch Series Zero. Yes, I have a Series Zero. I'm sorry.
It's funny. I was wearing my Series Zero the other day, and it's actually functioning pretty well.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Like
Yeah,
it's usable. It's
yeah,
just
definitely.
just you just expect me to have the latest stuff because I run Appleosophy. Like that's not how it works really. I buy stuff. I buy Apple products that I need. Okay, so if an iPhone 6s does the job for me, and it has been, that's good. So yeah. Okay, so we're gonna be wrapping up today's episode of Appleosophy Weekly. Um, so thank you guys for joining. Brahm, thank you for joining today's episode.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I
No,
always love
yeah,
to
it was
talk
great.
tech with you.
So guys, we'll be having another episode next week, so stay tuned for that. Um, and also, be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Definitely follow us on YouTube. Okay, subscribe on YouTube because we're not gonna live stream all episode weekly episodes, but we'll be doing them time to time. Um, but if you like that, you can give me some feedback. You can email me at holden@appleosophy.com. Um, and again, Appleosophy Weekly will be on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Snitcher. So be sure to if you want to be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform for more. Okay, okay, guys. We'll see you guys again next week. Thank you for listening. All right, and we
See
hope
you guys soon.
and see you guys soon. My name is Holden Satterwhite, CEO founder of Appleosophy, and out.